If there's one thing South Africans know how to do, it's turn social media into a full-on political battlefield before breakfast. 1 minute you're scrolling for memes, the next minute somebody is dropping a 20-minute national address from the front seat of a Toyota Corolla with gospel music playing softly in the background. And recently, one woman who got the internet talking is Queen Lebo Mkhize. Her videos spread across social media like wildfire. Some people called her brave. Others called her controversial. Some said she was speaking uncomfortable truths, while others felt she crossed dangerous lines. But whether people agreed with her or not, one thing is certain: South Africans listened. But before we break it down, let's listen to what she had to say. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Now let's get back to the video.
Running away from their own countries. And we say, who are here legally? Because legally...
My country, people, fellow South Africans, guess what? We are back. And we are at war. There's no neutral ground. I've been saying this thing for so long. I'm just here to remind Nkumbuzo that she is in the office of the presidency for a reason as a leader. As a leader, my darling, you don't blame. You don't pass the buck. You take responsibility and accountability, understanding that you are in the office to represent the people. You told us that we are in democracy, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. What are the people saying? Are you listening and acting accordingly, or you are saving other best interests of other, agendas? The issue of illegal migration is a typical example of the failed leadership of the ANC. All this mess is happening under the leadership of the ANC, coupled with the GNU, the Government of National Unity. Actually, right now, as South Africans, we need to hold you accountable and responsible for the last, decades you've given the ANC as a nation. Look at South Africa today. Can you proudly take that stand and tell us that South Africa today is better than how you took it from the government of apartheid, the apartheid regime? Or is it actually even worse? You cannot come here and be making noise, and yet you are the leadership. What are you going to do about it? How have you gone wrong? Why aren't you taking accountability? And give us feedback, give us reports. Especially after this last election, you being in the office of the presidency, what have you done? Because you owe us that an explanation. So you cannot come take a stand and take a podium and complain like everybody else, and yet you are in the position of leadership. Especially as ule mosadi. There is a groaning. There are cries. Are they valid? Why are you nullifying the cries of South Africans and equates them to nothing but xenophobic, nothing but tribalism? Why are you dividing South Africans? As the minister in the presidency, representing the office of the president himself. That is careless and very divisive, and running away from responsibility and accountability as a leader. Why are you guys not holding your fellow presidents and leaders in the diaspora accountable and responsible for their people? Why are you nursing their feelings? Why are you protecting them and wanting to take over everything that you cannot afford to, at the expense of the people of South Africa? I've been meaning to address this issue. The last time I watched you at Thokoza, when Mazwi Kubeka, a young 24-year-old South African boy or a man who was running a tuck shop, was kidnapped by Somalis allegedly for refusing to sell his spaza shop or to rent out the spaza shop for them. Instead of addressing the cries of that nation, of that community, you went there and came back and said that the people were tribalists because they did not want to speak your language. You understand? That is very divisive. Because as the minister in the president, you are also their minister. Was there no other way to address the issue instead of turning it into some tribal issue? You cannot continue to divide us than how we are already divided. The issue here is that we've got a crisis, a pandemic of illegal immigration. Crime is an order of the day. Unemployment is so high in South Africa. The land is not in our hands. The minerals, the resources are not in our lands. The businesses, majority of business, actually 99% of businesses in South Africa are not run by South Africans. So your democracy was a fallacy. It was a lie. Our children, majority of them are void of purpose and hope. The townships are packed. Our people are squashed. No one is working. People are not working, Kumbuzo. People are hungry. Our children are trafficked out of this country. It's becoming a fashion. It's becoming a norm. It's fashionable. No one is safe. Crime is an order of the day, Kumbuzo. Get real. Wear the people's shoes. Especially as Motswadi. Rwala di tlhako tsa ma South African and stop calling my South African tribalists. And allow people to take pride in their culture. There's nothing wrong with Zulus being Zulus. Because the issue is that the system hates it when we are proudly ourselves. They don't want it. Because it's all about globalization. It's all about one world order, one nation, one religion, one currency. You think we don't know what's going on? So those that stand for what they believe, for their values, their culture, they will be called names. And it's so sad and pathetic and very, very insensitive for that to be uttered by the whole minister in the presidency. Someone who's supposed to unite the nation and speak nothing but unity, to say, let us unite, and rebuild this nation that we've watched and observed crashing under the leadership of the ANC and their so-called government of national unity. That is why I will always say, for as long as the wicked rule, let the people will continue to mourn. But when the righteous take over power, the people will rejoice, because you lack wisdom, which is a principal thing. When you speak as a leader, speak unity. Let every nationality in South Africa see you as the mother, as the leader. There is no I in leadership. It's we, it's us. That's how you lead. You lead from the back, you don't lead from the front. What are the people saying? You said it's democracy, meaning the government of the people, by the people. But you are missing the point, because you are not listening to the people. You are listening to the masters, those that are in charge and in control of South Africa, because they're putting you in the front. You guys are just the front, we know. You are not really in charge. You are not the ones leading this nation. You are taking instructions from someone, and it's evident in how you relate with us. You don't hear, you don't put yourself in the shoes of the people. You are reading scriptures, you are reading scripts, you are acting. You are not in the shoes of the people. You are not in the reality of the lived realities of our people. That's where you are missing it. That's where you are missing it. I could not wait to address this issue because it's been bothering me. You cannot take a podium instead of taking accountability and responsibility for illegal migrants in South Africa, which is causing a lot of havoc right now. You will then agree with the system and the mainstream media, Human Rights Commission, and everyone as the whole world that is against South Africa, and oppress us and call us tribalists. I'm a tribalist. We are all South Africans, and it's time for us to unite South Africans. You know, an injury to one, it's an injury to all. We will not allow the government of ANC, the EFF, and the DA to destroy this nation. Let us unite for a common cause. Let us protect South Africa. We only have South Africa. We have nowhere else to run to. At least when they are invested. outside South Africa. Cry the beloved country, South Africa, mother of the nation, Queen Lebo Mkhize. Shalom, shalom. I love South Africa. I love you. I love you. Let's pray. Let us unite. We are on our own.
Government. The logo was designed to reflect the connection between the Somali community.
My sister, you see how you come up here on social media to defend your nation because you are proudly Somalian, right? And you don't expect us to do the same thing. When we stand up and defend South Africa, it's a different ball game altogether. Peacefully, do not include our logos, our flag as South Africans for anything that you are doing, because you will never find us in your countries doing the same things you guys are doing here. We don't. When we visit, we are visitors and we behave as visitors. We respect and observe your laws. When the time is up for us to go back to our homes, we do so. So don't complicate this thing with explaining too much. Do not include or involve, because the issue is you come here, you do your own thing. I don't understand if you guys don't understand a saying that says that when you get to Rome, you do what Romans are doing. You don't get to Rome and you dictate the pace. It's dictatorship. It's invasion what you people are doing. Stop it. Stop aggravating South Africans. Do your things and take us out of it. Whatever it is that you guys are doing, do it without involving us. Then you will not hear from us. Stay on your lane. Don't invade. Don't take over the territory. The territory belongs to its own. Whether you people like it or not, whether the globalists like it or not, stay on your lane. We don't need no explanation. Don't use that coat of arm. Don't use that South African flag to run your meetings. For what? You're not South Africans. Haibo. No,
South Africa ukuthi umuntu obengaba upresident.
My country people, fellow South Africans, I've been warning you since the previous elections. And I said we are at war and there's no neutral ground. If you are not on our side, then you are the enemy and you are making matters even worse. And I'm just here to respond quickly to this video, of course, of a young South African man who's very disappointed, with what has been exposed allegedly through the Madlanga Commission regarding Julius Malema. And the guy is so disappointed. A lot of them actually on social media, they're very disappointed. And this one is particularly saying that it's so painful for someone who could have been the president of South Africa, who stood a chance to become maybe the next president of South Africa, to be found in cahoots with the alleged Big Fives. But for some of us, we are actually not surprised. And just a point of correction, there is absolutely no way Julius Malema will become the president of South Africa. Not under our watch, because we've been saying this thing for a long time. By the spirit that is at work in us, that he is compromised. He has got no best interest of South Africans at heart. He is there for his own benefit, for his own interests. His ideologies, mostly when he speaks, are in line with the globalist agenda against South Africans and pretending to be standing for Africa Unite at the expense of South Africans. Today now he's declaring war against General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. I'm not shocked. Why? He did not expect that his name would be dropped. It's not even General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi who name dropped Julius Malema. But files are being dropped there with evidence. And he goes and take a public platform, as usual, lying to the young people of South Africa, whom he never ever defends, whom he never ever advocates. for their unemployment, for substance abuse that is ravaging the future of South Africa. The very same Julius Malema who called South Africans lazy bedwetters. I will never forget that. Lazy bedwetters who are nothing but future employees of African migrants in South Africa. That's an insult. Who never sees anything good about or say anything good about South Africans. Now today, they want to insult Mkhize. They need to be told, or they need to be aware, if they are not aware, that Mkhize stands for South Africans. He's a man of integrity. He's a patriotic leader who took an oath, and he's living by that oath to protect this beautiful nation against the cartels, against the mafians that don't hesitate to take a life. He is up against, he's the last man standing. Someone told him that he owns South Africa, and that's not the truth. They lied to him. He is not going to be the future president of South Africa. It's not going to happen up until he repents. Probably, maybe. We've been saying these things. We are not late. We have never been fooled. And I'm glad that majority of you guys are opening up your eyes. At least your eyes are cleared. At least now you can think, you can see who's for you. That's why I say, if you are not on our side, then you are the enemy. So he's declaring himself the enemy of the people of South Africa by declaring war against General Nhlanhla Mkhize. That's all to it. And we are not mincing our words. You need to choose your side. Whose side are you on? Are you with the people? Because the people are with General Nhlanhla Mkhize, because he is for us and we are for him. So war has been declared, fellow South Africans. And I'm so sorry. I feel sorry for our young people that still believe that they are represented, while they cannot be advocated for anywhere to be a priority in their own country, under the disguise of the so-called Africa Unite, at the expense of the future of South Africans. That's what makes me upset. And here comes a man who is exposing the rot. The man who sat down and asked himself, what is the cause of these young South Africans to be so, involved in crime? And the man found out that it's because of substance abuse. And then he started following up. Where is this substance coming from? Where are the drugs coming from? And a whole lot was exposed. And Nhlanhla Mkhize is saying, if they did not stop the investigation of the PKTT, we wouldn't be here. But he warned us, General, that South Africa is going to catch fire very soon, because a lot is going to be exposed. And also, let's ask, what did General Nhlanhla Mkhize say about Julius Malema? Why is Julius Malema throwing missiles? So we are not surprised. We are not surprised. Cry the beloved country, South Africa, but today the truth is coming out. Mother of the nation, Queen Lebo Mkhize, let's continue to pray for Nhlanhla Mkhize, our general, our commander-in-chief, the true son of the soil. Samba na undonga. Siyabonga. Love you, South Africa, mother of the nation, Queen Lebo Mkhize. I'll continue to pray for you. Shalom, shalom. The last man standing is Mkhize.
Now, before we continue, this video is not about attacking anybody. It's about understanding why these conversations are becoming louder in South Africa, what people are reacting to, and the advantages and disadvantages of the points she raised. Because if we're being honest, the country is emotionally exhausted right now. Queen Lebo Mkhize's main message focused heavily on leadership, accountability, illegal immigration, unemployment, crime, and the frustrations many South Africans feel toward the ANC-led government and the government of national unity. She repeatedly argued that leaders are failing to listen to ordinary citizens. And honestly, this is where many South Africans nodded their heads in agreement. Let's be real. South Africans have been hearing promises since the days when flat-screen TVs were considered luxury items. Every election season, politicians suddenly remember potholes exist. Suddenly they care about electricity. Suddenly they care about unemployment. Suddenly they know where townships are located. Then after elections? Silence. The only thing that stays consistent is load shedding schedules and long queues. One of the strongest points she raised was accountability. She questioned whether leaders are actually listening to citizens or protecting political interests instead. And this concern is not unique to her. Across the country, many South Africans feel disconnected from politicians. People are frustrated about corruption scandals, service delivery failures, unemployment, and rising crime. Youth unemployment alone remains one of the biggest issues facing the country today. And this is where her message resonated with a lot of viewers. She spoke emotionally about ordinary people struggling while leaders appear detached from reality. Whether you agree with her wording or not, that frustration exists. You can hear it in taxis, barber shops, family gatherings, and definitely in South African comment sections. If South African comment sections were a country, the United Nations would probably hold emergency meetings every week. But here's where things become complicated. A major part of her videos focused on illegal immigration and foreign nationals. This is an extremely sensitive topic in South Africa because it touches on crime, economic pressure, business competition, and social tensions. Many South Africans genuinely believe weak border control and illegal immigration are making life harder for struggling citizens. That concern is real, and ignoring it completely doesn't help anyone. However, the danger comes when frustration turns into blanket accusations against entire groups of people. That's where conversations can quickly move from discussing policy problems into xenophobia. And South Africa has already experienced violent xenophobic attacks in the past, so emotions around this topic are very serious. This is the disadvantage of emotionally charged political messaging online. When people are angry, fearful, or desperate, strong words can unite people, but they can also divide them. Some viewers interpreted her statements as patriotic. Others felt certain remarks unfairly targeted foreign nationals or encouraged hostility. And here's something important people forget: not every foreign national in South Africa is here illegally, and not every South African struggling economically can blame immigrants for all their problems. South Africa's economic challenges are deeply rooted in corruption, inequality, poor governance, slow economic growth, and global economic pressures too. Now, another interesting part of her message was her emphasis on culture and identity. She argued that South Africans should not be ashamed of proudly embracing their cultures, whether Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Tswana, Venda, or others. On that point, many people would agree. Cultural pride itself is not a bad thing. South Africa is one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world, and preserving languages, traditions, and identities matters. The problem only comes when cultural pride turns into exclusion or hostility toward others. Because once people stop seeing fellow human beings and only see us versus them, things can become dangerous very quickly. She also made claims suggesting political leaders are controlled by bigger forces behind the scenes. Now, this type of language is becoming increasingly common online globally, not just in South Africa. But it's important to separate evidence-based criticism from speculation. Governments absolutely deserve criticism and accountability. That's democracy. But without proof, some claims can easily fuel paranoia and misinformation. One thing nobody can deny is that social media has completely changed political conversations in South Africa. Ordinary citizens now have platforms powerful enough to influence national debates. A single TikTok video can create more political discussion than an entire parliamentary session. Which is honestly impressive and slightly terrifying at the same time. And that's why videos like Queen Lebo Mkhize matter. Not necessarily because every statement is correct, but because they reveal what many people are feeling emotionally. Fear, anger, frustration, distrust, economic anxiety, cultural insecurity. Those emotions are real, even when some conclusions may be debated. The real challenge for South Africa is figuring out how to address legitimate concerns without creating more division. How do you discuss illegal immigration without promoting hate? How do you criticize government failures without spreading misinformation? How do you protect culture without rejecting others? Those are difficult questions. At the end of the day, South Africa's biggest battle might not only be political or economic. It might be emotional. People are tired. Tired of corruption. Tired of unemployment. Tired of crime. Tired of promises. And when people become tired enough, emotional voices become powerful very quickly. But solutions require more than anger. They require policy, accountability, law enforcement, economic growth, education, and leadership that actually listens to people without turning citizens against one another. Because if there's one thing South Africans definitely don't need right now, it's more division. This country already has enough problems. Eskom alone is giving people spiritual warfare. Still, the conversation sparked by Queen Lebo Mkhize shows something important. Many South Africans are demanding accountability louder than ever before. And regardless of political affiliation, the demand is probably not going away anytime soon. South Africa remains one of the most resilient countries on earth. A country full of passionate people, strong cultures, brilliant minds, and endless potential. But the future depends on whether leaders and citizens can channel frustration into constructive solutions instead of chaos. And honestly, that might be the biggest challenge of all.